Alright, I have just spent an age digging around with the bike. Oh my god. Thought I'd quickly give it a short ride up the hill and back because it's so nice and sunny. And I haven't touched it since last time. So I came down. I knew I wanted to clean out the petcock again, the filter, the strainer. And so I did that, pulled the tank off, pulled all that apart, cleaned it out. It was okay. And then I put it all back together, got ready to go, turned the fuel on, it pissed all over the floor. What? Alright. And getting the carb out in these is just so difficult. I managed to do it, get the float bowl off, and the pin out of the floats, and the little valve, the needle valve out, whilst the carb was still in. That was hard, because my hands hardly fit in. And I used this here, and used that on there as a sort of a screwdriver. And it worked. It was hard to do, but it worked. And I gave it all a good blowout and put it back together. And if I put the fuel on now, let's put that out and choke on. Now this hasn't started since the ride at the start of episode 6. I find, unlike my Ducati, which starts with no gas, this, I think, likes a bit of gas. Like that. It chugs all the way on, will come off. Will come off quite a way. So it was ready to die. Let's move out of here. I'll just push it out. It's a very smooth feeling bike. I feel like I'm riding a sewing machine. That feels about right. I'm riding a sewing machine. Now, I watched a guy on YouTube. There was a video where he rode a couple of his bikes, a couple of these things in different condition. One of them was more stock than the other, and conveniently they weren't de-restricted or anything. At least the one wasn't. And I was able to watch him take off, and he had his camera like this, and I was able to watch the watch the speeds and so on as he went up and the revs. And quite frankly, it was really no better than this. And this wasn't any worse, which I thought was interesting. And I think it only did about 60k. There's the first motorcyclist looking at my bike, giving it a thumbs up. I love the idle. It's not hunting or anything. It's just perfect idle. Looks like it's just under 2,000, which is fine. I could drop it a tiny bit, but don't really care. Nice Mini. That looks beautiful. I'd like a Mini. I've had one. It's a very fun car to have. Mine was a piece of junk, but it was great. I loved it. $200. The brakes aren't very sharp, but it just feels like they're new. The pads need to really get some surface. I think this is going all right. Ah, beautiful afternoon. Evening even. So, that's full throttle. I don't know what gear I'm in. I'm not used to these signals, but I like that you can just push the button without looking to make sure they're off, whereas on my Ducati I'm always having to look. Oh. There's a big bike. Let's go get him. Coming to get you. 50k. Oh, that's good enough. I can ride around town at 50k. Okay, 40. That was 10,000. Full throttle 9,000. 55. 60k. This is the speed test. Definitely doing over 60. 9,500. 9,500. That's a 60k limit, but these cars tend to go a little bit over. I'm just installing the Takigawa unit here, this thing. And I thought I'd turn on the camera. So that's what we're doing. So the way this works is it just slots in line with the electronics here that are on the bike. It's got all the plugs here ready to go. And then these ones as well, which are presumably for power. I marked them all when I took them off, so I know where they go. Yeah, I'll do that like that. That's all hidden out of the way. And this one can come up here. Go on to there. This thing can be put back on. Somewhere there. Oh yeah. Just like that. That all stays the same. One of these wires here, which goes, I don't know if that's an earth, you pop it out and you leave it off. And I just put some shrink wrap around it to stop it touching anything. And these wires come around here. Yellow goes on yellow. That goes in there. And this one goes here. Like that. And the only bit you really see is this thing here, which I'm just going to tie down here somewhere. It's not going anywhere. Right, there we go. So the next step is to take it on a ride. Let's go. Hey everyone, I'm going to do a short ride today. Now I've already been out on a couple of rides with the bike in stock condition and was able to get basically 65k an hour in top gear. And that's fine. I thought it performed pretty well, and that's what it's supposed to do, so that was great. Now I couldn't resist putting that Takigawa sort of de-restrictor unit in it, and so I did that, and I actually went for a short ride, but it was raining and it was terrible. I couldn't wind it up. The obvious difference was that in fourth and fifth it would rev out past 9 to 10,000 up there. It would rev out to about 12.5 or so. Would have gone further if I'd let it. And of interest was that I would easily get to 60k in fourth gear and then still have a gear to go, whereas previously 60k in fifth was just about at the limit. And so now it's a nice sunny day, afternoon on a Sunday. I'm gonna go and try and find somewhere where I can wind it up to, 70k or whatever it goes to. I also in the manual found the tire pressures and had to convert them to PSI. It was 28.5 PSI at the front, 35.5 at the rear. Okay, I guess we're ready to go. I think that mid-range sort of, oh, this is where I go. I think that mid-range bogging, mild bogging that I was getting, I think that's gone. I'm not feeling it. It's still gutless, but it hasn't got a distinct sort of bog at that point. What I did there was I raised the needle a notch. That makes it a little bit richer. It's a tiny amount, but yes, a little bit richer. It's meant for half throttle, but at full throttle, which I'm always at full throttle, you see, when I'm accelerating, it should also make it a tiny little bit richer. So maybe that's dealt with that. It felt like fuel starvation to me, so that's what I did. So this is a 60 zone, so that's nice. I'm going to get into the left-hand lane, so I'm out of the traffic. Let's see what we can do. Definitely do 70k. but this is still 60, so let's not push it. Well, I can stay with the traffic so long as it's flat. No problem there. 80, here we go. 80k. Well, I'm only doing 10,000 RPM. I'm nearing 70k. If I get down with a bit of wind from behind, I would definitely speed up. That's going a bit quicker, nearly 11,000. What is that? 70? It's past 70, but not much. Oh, come on. Away you go. 11,000 RPM. I reckon it's doing 75. Ooh, that's pretty good. Look at that. Oh, 11 and a half. That was pretty cool. That was pretty good. I was definitely down there. 50, 70 is probably about easily 75. But really that's, you know what, 10k more than without the restrictor. And I was getting, with the restrictor I can get up to 10,000. There's the 80k zone. Well, I'm as fast as I was before, even faster. Yeah, 11 and a half is the top. Oh well. First gear, 8,000 RPM. 10,000. Oh, come on. Let's put that there. Yeah. All right, there we go. So I've had my third significant ride on the bike, this time with the Takigawa unit in it. Now, just to clarify, from what I know, it's a 5-speed bike, and the restriction is the revs on the 4th and 5th gears are limited to 9 or 9.5 or something like that. And certainly that was the case in my first ride. That was topping out at about 10,000, and about 65k was the best I got. Now with the unit on, that's supposed to remove that limitation, so that in 4th and 5th it just revs out to whatever. Redline is 13.5. I guess when you put something like that on it, you expect more power. I don't think there is any more power. I think it's the same, except that now it can rev out. And so I can easily get to 65 in 4th gear now, which is pretty nice. And it's only doing whatever, 11,500 at that speed. It's not that high. In 5th gear is almost like an overdrive. It just puts the bike somewhere, puts the revs in a different area of the power band, but you don't get a whole lot more. I think I might have got up to about 75k. Definitely. To where it's just a little bit above the KMH symbol there. Is easily 75. That's what I estimate, and I was able to get that with without headwind. The bike can just rev out and away you go. The revs weren't that high at that speed. I reckon if you're going downhill you could go 100k. There would be enough room in the revs there to do it, but the bike's not going to power me with this body to that sort of speed. However, it powered me to 75. I think it's successful as a moped. You know, a moped in my language is a bike that's normally limited to 50 Ks, or in Germany it was even 40 Ks for a Mokic, and about 3 horsepower. This feels to me like it's got 3 horsepower, that sort of thing, maybe 3.5 max, but certainly no more than that. And I'm able to keep up with the traffic around town. And I don't think there's anything else I can say. I think it's good for what it is. Yeah, I mean, it's an enjoyable bike. Right, if you like anything that you saw in this video, give me a like, subscribe, comment, share the video. All that good stuff, and we'll see you in the next one.